This is the OMFL.
You can't touch this.
And you're in the mix with Kinda Real Name. Here's another OMFL production.
We're going to cut that intro a little bit short just because I know that you're watching this. You don't want to watch an entire intro. I did let it play on the very first one, but I'm trying to save some time here and get you straight to what we need to get. If you're watching this, then you're checking out our offensive FPR here for the OMFL or the Deuce. I do these videos to help explain the reason. I am the founder and commissioner of the OMFL and of the Grown Folks Online Community, Nate, and I appreciate you checking us out. I'm not going to go through the entire member packet and like how to find all this stuff. It is in the very first video under the general rules, so you can go watch that video if you need any help. But this is our website, grownfolksoc.com. You hit forums. It'll bring you to all these beautiful forums that we have. You hit fair play rules and regulations. It'll bring you to this. Here's your new member packet, your quiz that you have to fill out. We went through the general, and now we're covering the offense really quick. So we're going to roll through this and going to talk about our philosophy and why the FPR is what the FPR. Now, this constantly changes, so I encourage you, even if you're watching this video, just to scan through the rules yourself, just to ensure that nothing has changed. I don't get to update these videos constantly, but in case something has changed from the making of this video, this is going to be for Madden 20. Our philosophy, and I explained a lot of this in the first video. I'm not going to hammer it really hard, but it really is that we want a good strategic game. And there's three things that we find that need to be a part of that. Mix it up. That is the main golden rule here is don't do anything excessive. Don't do the same thing over and over. You should never do the same type of play, the same play back to back. That should never be a thing unless there's like a special situation like a Hail Mary situation or something like that. That's fine, but I'm talking about in the normal flow of the game. So doing the same thing, the same concept, running all bunch formations, running back-to-back shotgun runs, running a shotgun offense. All that stuff is not allowed here. Anything that you do, anything close to half of your play calling or your offense or whatever, half of anything that you're doing, if you start getting close to half, then you're getting excessive, and you got to cut that back. Run the plays it's called. The plays have play art. You shouldn't be sketching your own play. You're going to see a lot of plays, rules that we have here, FPR, to keep things fair, and it's because guys just abuse it, and they sketch up their own play, and they're moving players around, and they're messing up the AI, and it's just the game wasn't designed to function that way. These are not real players. It's a video game, and so you should run a majority of your plays the way it's designed to be ran. And if the other guy calls a better play or the other guy's players outplay you, then take your loss and come back the next play and figure out something else. And it's okay to lose a game. That's going to bring us to the third one. Keep your thirst to a minimum. Everybody wants to win, but there's nothing better than a hard-fought loss in Madden where it's fair and both guys played a good, even, strategic game. It's still super enjoyable. And on the flip side of that coin, there's nothing worse, even if you win, than playing a guy who uses flaws and glitches or does things excessively over and over and over. It's just a waste of your hour and 20 minutes. And if you do things like that, you're going to get removed from here, or at least get a warning. So, yeah, we ask that you keep the thirst to a minimum. It's okay to take a loss. You're going to get to advance in 3 days, and you'll get to play again, and it's okay. We're a no-switch league. This means that on offense, because we're talking about offense right now, you're not allowed to switch when the ball is in the air. Once you throw the ball, you have to wait till it's caught before your player automatically takes over. You don't have to switch it. It automatically does it. You take over your player, and you continue the play. If the ball ever gets tipped, you're allowed then to switch and try to make a play, and that's both on offense or defense. You're not allowed to use coach suggestion or concepts. We expect you to learn your playbook. Because those two things can tend to call the same three plays over and over and over and over and over. So mix it up, learn your playbook, and go do that. Here's a couple of banned plays. You cannot call play action on 3rd and 10 or more. In real life, nobody's biting up on a play action of 3rd and 20, but AI is not real life, and it will suck players up, and it's just lame and shouldn't be done. All monster formations. This has been in here for a while just because it's super gimmicky. I'm open if Madden 20 plays this differently. It hasn't been proven, but those are banned as well. And then goal line formation, quarterback sneak. It has gotten better over the last 2 Maddens, but still works 90% of the time. And we just don't want to give a free touchdown because you got it on the 1 yard line. You should still earn it. And so yeah, none of these goal line quarterback sneak plays that are give me plays. Here's some caution plays. These are not banned or removed, but they are expected that you cautionally use them and you just don't abuse them, and you make sure that you use them sparingly. All closed or bunched formations. These tend to be abused on 3rd downs and in the red zone. I tried very hard to have it banned on 3rd down and in the red zone, but the board was not willing to do that yet. It was not surprise me after the making of the video, if this is abused, that this does move to banned on 3rd or red zone plays. But it's just, look, the Madden never lines up and covers those formations correctly. It just doesn't work. And it's a give me. You run a bunch drag, you need 3 yards. It's going to be a give me most of the time. And so, yeah, it's expected that you don't abuse that and that you mix it up and be more creative. Slats, that's not a word, slants and drag routes on 3rd down and in the red zone. Just like the drag routes can be a give me play. It tends to be something that people lean on. You get to 3rd and goal and you've been trying to run it, you can't go in, you'll call a slant. 1st and goal on the 1, you'll call a slant. It's just mix it up and get more creative than that. Shotgun runs, I hate them. They're give me 4 to 5 yards every time. Don't use them on 3rd and short in the red zone. Again, 3rd and short and 3rd down and the red zone tend to be when we see these 3 things the most. I'm fine with it being a strategic way to mix up and catch somebody in a bad defense, but those should be used very sparingly. Anything that is more than a 2-gap cut. We gave you a little photo here. If you are confused by this, please feel free to hit me up, but the gaps are numbered. They're also lettered. It just depends on what's easier for you. I like the numbers because if you're not into football lingo like some of us are, the numbers are easy to understand. And so it's expected that you can have a 1-gap cut. If I'm going to the 1 hole, I can cut it to the 3 or the 2. If I'm going to the 6, I can cut it out to the 8 or the 4. I want to avoid 2 cutbacks. And so what we'll see is a guy calls a play that's supposed to go through the 4 gap, and they're cutting it back to the 3 gap because that's where the hole opens on the backside. It's just gimmicky, and we want to avoid that. And so you should not be doing that. If it happens once or twice a game, okay, whatever, not a terrible thing. But anything more than twice, you're going to have a problem, and you can't get in some issues here with that. Here's some ratios. We're really trying to move to percentages here, and so you're going to see a lot of percentages because hard numbers don't tell the context of a game. So your outside runs and inside runs, those should be a nice mix of 50-50. Doesn't have to be exact, but we just don't want to see a guy running 75% toss plays and outside runs and not ever running the ball inside. On the flip side of that, I'm never going to get a guy who runs 75% straight up the gut, hard-nosed football. Like, that's the easiest play to stop. And if he just built a really good team, then he should be able to do that. And so, again, this is mainly to manage those outside tosses, counters, sweeps, those types of plays, stretch plays. 3 wide receiver runs or more. This includes shotgun runs. Should never be more than 30%, or should be less than 35%. So 1 out of every 3 or so, rough amount. Again, just when you start getting close to that 33, 35, 30%, you should be hey, I've ran 6 out of my 12 runs have been out of 3 wide or shotgun. I need to mix this up and call. I need to avoid that the rest of the game. Shotgun runs are its own thing. I said that they were combined, but they're not. 3 wide receiver runs is the 35%. Shotgun runs is 20% because it's such a give me. It just shouldn't be ran that often. You must use a 12, 21, or 22 personnel. That means either a normal set, 2 receiver, 1 tight end, 2 running backs. That's a fullback running back. Or 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, 1 running back. Or you can, you could also do any combination of those, right? Like the like pro formation or the bunt. No, come on, what's the word I'm looking for? full formations. That's the word I was looking for. The full formations, like you can use those, and that's okay. We're just asking. We don't want to see a 3-receiver formation offense. We don't want to see a shotgun formation offense. 50% of your play calls need to come from one of those pro sets. 1 tight end, 2 running backs, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, something like that. You shouldn't call more than 70% run or pass. We don't want to see a guy doing 90% passing, never running the ball, or 90% running and never passing the ball. You got to mix that up. Don't abuse any type of screen plays. We're a little bit more lenient, and there's no percentage on this because Madden 20 plays this much better. But again, don't run 15 screen plays. Like, that's lame, and you're going to get called out on that. Excessive use of bunch or close formations, we talked about that. Excessive passes to the tight end or running back, we've actually cleaned that up a little bit, and it's now 50% of your catches, because Madden plays this so much better now. 50% of your catches combined from tight end, running back, fullback can come from those 3 positions. The other 50% needs to come from your receivers. And then RPOs are limited to 25% of your total play calls. And so, we're just asking that you really mix that up. 5 out of every 20 of your calls can be an RPO, but mix it up. Just don't abuse those plays. They're great, and I love them, and they work really awesome. We don't want to see a guy calling an RPO every play and being able to do that. Just want to see you mix it up. Manual line of scrimmage, they have to be set before you hike. And you cannot consistently run the ball down to 0 before you hike it. Here's some quarterback do-nots. You cannot sprint directly out of the pocket after snap. You cannot throw when outside the numbers. And your quarterbacks are allowed 35% of your total run plays. So if you run the ball 20 times, 7 of them can come from your running back. No halfback should have more than 80% of your carries. This is just forcing you to build a full team and to use your backup halfback. No parallel, sprinting straight, horizontal, or backwards, nothing like that. Like, it happens from time to time, and so we don't rule with an iron fist with that. But if every toss play is horizontal or backwards should never happen, but horizontal, then we're probably going to have a talk. You should keep those things realistic. Especially in Madden 20, it seems like the more horizontal that you can go, you'll just outrun your guy and be able to make the corner. And it's just a glitchy little AI thing that we just don't want to see a ton of. Quarterbacks, again, are allowed to have 35% of your total runs. 4th and 2, you can go for it when it's in your opponent's territory, past the 50, 2 yards or less. Anytime that you're down 20 or more points, anytime you're down in the 4th quarter or overtime, and anytime in the final 2 minutes, even if you're winning by 6 or less, or 4th and 2 and less anywhere on the field. Fake field goals and fake punts fall in the same rule as going for it on 4th down. Pre-snap changes, both sides of the ball. So offense, you're allowed 1 change / adjustment, whatever label you want to put on that. And if you go no huddle, you're allowed 2. So 9 no huddle, you're allowed 1. No huddle 2. IDing the mic is not a change. Sliding your protections or pinching your protections, not a change. A hot route of a player, that's a change. Keeping a player in to block or multiple players, that's 1 change. So if you do all protect, max protect, that it's going to show as more than 1 change, but that counts as 1 change. It's just keeping everybody in to block. An audible is a change, and flipping the play left or right is a change. You're allowed 1 change. This is a big adjustment. We used to allow 3, and then it went to 2, and it just got abused. And the guys are, sketching up their own play at the line of scrimmage, and we don't want to see that. So, look, 55% of your plays need to be ran as called, no changes. Get up to the line, snap the ball, let's play football. But you're allowed some changes to adjust. And if you need to flip the play or keep a guy in the block or something like that, that's what we consider a change. Onside kicks are permitted in the 4th quarter or when you're losing, and no huddle can be called in the last 2 minutes of each half, or when you're losing by more than 14 points in the second half. Losing by anything in the 4th quarter, you have to let the defense get set Now, of course, this new Madden, everybody's automatically set, so that's kind of going away. But just give them a second to call an audible. If time is tight, you got to do what you got to do. But, just don't be a jerk, all right? And then, of course, we can remove this defensive offside penalties because that's all gone away. So that's our offensive FPR. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to hit me up. See you soon around here. God bless. We'll see you. Peace.